Hey guys, Stealthy here. Welcome back to From the Depths. I'm back on my destroyer, which I've decided to name a Fletcher, a class of destroyer. It doesn't look anything like a Fletcher yet, but that is the goal. Fletcher class, in case you're not familiar with it, is a 5-turret destroyer from World War II. Guns are 127mm with quite high elevation, so that they can dual purpose as anti-air guns as well. And they have an armament of, I believe, two quadruple, so that's 4 torpedo launchers. But before I can get there, before I can get to that state of this ship, I'll first have to get a lot more resources. So I'm back on my way towards the resource zone, where there's still 4,500 points of resources in reserve. And meanwhile, I'm keeping an eye on these two. They are Marine Dusters, and these guys currently aren't actually doing anything. They're just sitting there. They're not very valuable, they're just 2,600 apiece. I think they came with the airship that I killed off earlier. And I don't believe that they are a threat, so mining should be a pretty safe opportunity for the moment. At least let's hope so. Now for this Fletcher design, I'm going to be using a bit of the gameplay mechanics, which aren't exactly incorporated in the Fletcher itself. So what you can expect to see is shielding. It's something that you really wouldn't expect to see on a Fletcher class destroyer. And I'm not talking about armor, I'm talking about actual shields. Because with those, I can at least take a hit and presumably survive. With the standard Fletcher class, if you get hit by basically anything, you're going to lose either a lot of hit points in World of Warships, or most of your ship in From the Depths. So I gotta be careful there. I'm gonna keep an eye on the horizon at all times, seeing if there's any threat nearby, and it's just those two which are in the water. I could decide to send some torpedoes along to that vector and kill those guys off, but for now I want to focus on building and mining. I do realize that this ship is nowhere near the design of the Fletcher. Fletcher is a really sharp bow, which is something I'm going to be trying to replicate in this ship. It's not going to be easy though. It's going to take a while before I actually get to that stage. As for the turrets, single barrel 127mm guns, rapid rate of fire. They are controlled not by the optical or the coincidence rangefinders, but by fire directors. And those I'm going to be trying to simulate using more or less an optics mast. For now, almost in the resource zone. Yeah, that should do it. There we go. Alright. First up, I'm going to be constructing a longer ship. I'm going to be expanding the length of this thing to make sure I can fit all the required modules later. And of course there's going to be a pretty important element in the form of a keel. There we go. These things on here. Or actually I think that the 4-meter downward slopes would be a bit more fitting for this ship. But in order to have that happen, I'm going to need to make the ship a bit wider, I think. A bit more like that. Then I should have enough room inside the ship to mount the turrets, the torpedo launchers, the fire directors. Yeah, I think that this will work. So like that, one more layer. Let's go with light alloy. Not down there. And yes, I know, I should probably be using the other controls, the keyboard controls, but I just don't find that I work with them very well. They don't work for me. There, that's how I want the rest of my ship to be constructed as well. So that's going to be constructing an inner layer of these light alloy beams. I said light alloy beams. No, actually this one was wood. That's correct, that one was wood. In the meanwhile, I have to keep the ship more or less seaworthy, so that if I do get jumped, I can still make it out alive. bit of extra terrain or extra blocks here. Yeah, these things shouldn't be here. Not anymore. So that layer is going to be wood. This one's going to be... Well, no, actually it's going to be wood as well. It's not going to be lead. If I keep it everything lead, it's going to be too heavy. Not good. And these things to be taken off. Of course, the ship is starting to flood, at least a little bit. That was to be expected. Take off these beams. I know the ship isn't exactly in a finished state right now. I just want to continue building the hull. Once I have that, I can start adding weaponry. I'm probably going to go for the torpedoes first, because the turrets are... Well, they are important. They're also pretty damn fragile. So much for my weaponry. Yeah, and then for my bow... That's the torpedo launchers done. Any enemies nearby? Nope, nothing. Screw it, I'm just going to reconstruct my entire bow. I have the time, there's nothing nearby, so I do have the capability of fixing that right now. Alright, how do we build this? It's going to be a light alloy, I think this one. I usually build my bows a little different, so this is more of an experiment for me than anything else. Because these things used to have very, very long and sleek bows, but I don't really see how I can do that. Triangle corner? No. Something like that, maybe. Basically build what I normally build. Does this even look like anything? Downward slope? No. That thing should be about 2 to 3 times as long. So this is not it. Let's go with another triangle corner here. Can I use downward slopes? Because I think that would fit it a bit better. So fit on a couple of those here. And then another one of these. No, that's not it. Oh, this is tough. How do you build this according to the previous design? That's not it either. It'd be great if I could just pull the ship out of the water. But that's not likely to happen. Oh fuck, what's going on now? My heartstone is gone? Something detonated? My engine's gone? How did that happen? How did that happen? Because there's nothing near. How am I doing on resources? I am inside the resource zone, but I'm no longer mining. What the hell is happening? Let's make the ship watertight, fast. Watertight and seaworthy. Air pump. Is the rear compartment done? Continue with the keel. This thing looks like absolute shit. Screw it, I'll have a look at this thing later. I'm getting a bit jumpy with all of these potential ships just spawning in and just completely wasting this ship while I am working on it and trying to improve the design. And of course I forget mirror mode. There it goes again! Something just blows up. But why? What is so explosive on this ship? What is so damn fragile? Give me repair bots. Because it sure as hell isn't the engine. I don't believe it's the ammo either, because I don't have any ammo. It's not a weapon. I am gaining resources, although very, very slowly. Ah, I do not have any fuel. That's the problem. Resources, fuel storage, fuel tanks. There we go. Gaining resources. Perfect. Alright, back to the bow. How do I normally make this thing again? It's like I forgot everything. Light alloy beam. These. Oh, mirror mode. Triangle corner. It's so difficult to actually do a building process with all of these waves rushing over the bow. Light alloy, downward slope, like that. 3-meter beam. That should make it watertight. Let's pump out the water. Put an air pump in there. No longer breached. There we go. Alright. This is something that I can at least start to work with. Then I want to have a couple of metal blocks, downward slopes, on the stern of the ship. That's where my propellers are going to be. Water propellers, huge propellers. And then a rudder down the middle. Okay. How much is left in the resource zone? 2,000 and something. All of this is pretty useless. This deck piecing. So let's work on building a turret next. And I can have the first bit of turret on the bow. That's where I think it used to be for the Fletchers. Let's make it a 4-meter. I don't like that part. I think this thing's in the wrong position altogether. There, that's better. So one more lead block. And of course now I'm still venting. So make it a, what was that, a 3-meter beam? And then a downward slope. Oh, it's metal. It should be light alloy. There. Alright, so this is where I'm going to be building the first turret. I'm going to be putting this thing a bit further back. New object, 2-axis turret, 1-axis turret. It's going to be a 3x3. It's not going to be too big. Advanced cannons. What can I start with? Just 6-way connectors, I think. One on the bow is going to be pretty much level with the deck. I'm going to have a 1 meter elevation. What would that give me? Elevation 40 degrees. It's not enough. 80 to 100 degrees. Better. Then, barrels. First, bore evacuator, a couple of barrel pieces, and a muzzle brake. Like that. Then, start to increase the gauge. Let's make it go down first. Then I can split it. Alright, gauge increase. I'm going to go for 127 millimeters, although 120 could work. That way I have plenty of materials and storage left for coolings. And coolings increase rate of fire as well. So one down. I could add one of these things here, hydraulic absorber. I would not like to get my ship knocked about just by the recoil of this gun. Then, down here I can add a belt-fed autoloader. We're going to have an ammo clip, like that. I'm going to have the same thing on the other end. Can I fix an ammo input feeder there? Yes, good. Perfect. Gauge increase, splitter. Cooling unit. Then oriented down. Can I just not shrink the blocks? Would that be easier? No. It won't let me. Well, yeah, no, it will. Okay, cooling unit. Over there. Then on this end there's going to be one of these. This does restrict the amount or type of ammo that I can feed. It's not going to be too big, but that's okay, I can work with that. It doesn't have to be a very, very big gun. I just don't really have enough room to add the ammo selector. So I'm going to have to build that somewhere else. Let's build that here. Ammo controller. It's going to be a really, really short type of shell. Maybe 3, maybe 4 blocks. Can I get away with that? Gunpowder casings. Base bleeder to increase the speed. HE, and AP. 120 millimeters. And I have a shell length of 940 millimeters. So that can fit. Now I'm going to have to add some ammo again. Resources, ammunition storage. Done. Still no threats. I stand corrected. There is another threat that has appeared. Ah, crap, I don't have any storage left. Where's the threat? I saw a third one on my screen. These two are here. That we know of. There's another 700 points for the grabs there. Here we go. That's a Vanguard. Not particularly threatening. But what about the other guy? Or is that the only other guy? One there. 2 there. That's to the northwest. Yeah, there's one here. Apparently there's something else there as well, but I can't find it. That's the Vanguard? Fine. So long as they just happily keep at range, I don't need to worry about them. Okay. I'm going to save this turret. It's going to be the 120mm Fletcher turret. so that I can easily add that for the next units. For now, I'm going to be building the armor around it. For the spinner, that is. These things used to have, I think, something that looks like this. This is going to be a bit tricky. They round down. And then what do they look like on the top? Something flat-ish? Something like that? How's that for a turret? It's not very beautiful, but well, it's moderately secure. And then before I forget, I want to have a local weapons controller here with a failsafe. Would be nasty if this thing decides to open up on the ship itself. Damn it. Failsafe, no mirror mode, and a wireless receiver. Alright. And actually I'm going to give this thing a controller, or a connector to the AI. Like that, and then detection equipment, laser rangefinder. There we go. It's going to make it pretty accurate. I don't have a mainframe, so I'm going to be firing this gun manually, if at all. How's the resource zone? 260 left. Okay, so that's one turret done. The other turret is a semi-super firing turret. It's going to be on a deck position slightly above the other one. I hope the turret will still turn. Yeah, no it won't. Oh, I hate turrets. Still won't turn. There it is. The AI block should not be mounted onto the turret. No, that's not it. Why won't you turn? What's the problem? It should have enough room to maneuver. Or does it? What the hell? Okay, the resource zone is done, so let's start heading away. Start heading south. We've got an engagement here. Moreover, something is really damaging whatever's onto the south. So head southwest, because that looks like a dangerous air unit. What do we have? Oh God. It's coming right at me. Recommendations. Make a course change. I'm moving at about 13 if I'm going in a straight line. How fast are you? Faster. 35. Oh dear. Alright, emergency turret on the stern. So it's going to be a missile turret. What was it that I was using before? The Porpoise? Nope, that wasn't it. Starburst? And Silent Knight. VLS? Sky Fury? I think it was the Sky Fury. Just a slightly improved version of the Sky Fury. Whatever. Make these things longer. That's a bit too long. One more. There we go. Alright, variable thruster, speed, 300. It's not going to be an ideal build, this one. Frags. More frags. I have a target prediction guidance already. Explosive warhead. And where's the one? Radar seeker. Go. Apply to all. Get to the back of the ship. Something's landed there. Fire. What we got? Hyla. 1,500 meters out. This thing has nowhere near enough fuel tanks to reach that. Alright, rebuild it. Fins on the back. 3 fuel tanks. Variable thruster. Set to 300. Fragmentation warhead gets replaced by target prediction guidance. There. Of course, I only have 2 ammo crates on the ship currently, so that's a bit of a problem. Where's the Hyla? It was somewhere off to my rear. There it is. Its altitude is negative? It's on the water? What happened to you? 2,500 meters out. I'm not sure. Oh, I actually hit something. I'm not sure if this can actually make it that far. So let's make a turn. Start heading back. If we can kill the Hyla, that's a nice amount of resources. Yeah, this ship does want to roll. Look at her go. Come to think of it, I should have put that missile battery not just onto the ship, but onto a turret. Because now I constantly have to reorient the ship to make sure that the thing is actually in range. There's my missiles. Might they still make it? No, they're out of fuel. What can I use? Because the gun is apparently no good. I thought it would be able to turn, but I'm going to have to redesign that thing. Let's get a fire computer here so we don't have to keep walking back and forth. And then this one is set up as group 2. Why did the Hyla crash? Because I, for one, didn't damage it. He did leave something behind from the kill that he got. Almost 200 there. Let's do a bit of a zigzag, see if I can make it there with my missiles. Heading over west. Turning north. Far set 2. 3,000 meters to the Hyla? Wow. We still got ways to go. A lot of ways to go till we get in range of that thing. I like the look of this turret, I'm just very pissed off that it won't work. I really don't like that. It should work as far as I'm concerned. But apparently I didn't design it well enough. Could you turn now? Yeah, now you'll turn. There's a sea flare at 1,500 meters out? That's a significant issue. Where's that? Right behind me? And much more importantly, it's coming right at me. Oh dear. Where are you at? It's right behind me. For some reason it's not firing. Get the sea flare. Critical target. It's firing. Okay, we need to readjust these, turn them into torpedoes. So that's a torpedo propeller, and everything else can work the same. Oh crap, we're taking fire. Continue to zigzag. I'm 14 meters per second. How fast are you? 20. That means I will not be able to outrun that bastard. He's even firing torpedoes. Oh joy. This is gonna get better. Come on, torpedoes. Or missiles, whatever you are. Just hit him. Hit him. No. Not gonna work. Can I outrun this thing if I add more props? Yeah, no I can't. Well, that was the end of the Fletcher. Got killed off. Actually, it looks like I got sniped. Because my character is the only one who seems to be dead. The rest of the ship seems to be fine. So that was a very, very short adventure. I'm very sorry about that. Hopefully back with more from the depths soon. But for now, this is the second and last episode of the Fletcher. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.